So WWE has a chance to finally make two megastars that they desperately need, and they are just deciding not to. And the reason why I say this is because we open up the show with Bron Breakker storming the stadium. He goes up to the announce table, he starts destroying everything, goes into the ring, and says he wants Adam Pearce. The Vision comes out, trying to calm Bron down. Adam Pearce comes out with a whole buttload of security. And of course, Bron wants his head. They're basically saying that Adam Pearce screwed him over by giving him the number 2 position, by allowing somebody to come to the arena and knock him out before he could even get in the Rumble. In fact, Paul Heyman says Adam Pearce has to approve all the passports for anybody that came to Saudi Arabia. And if that's the case, then Adam Pearce would know who the attacker was. But then Adam Pearce brought up a very good point. The last time we saw somebody who was masked like that, it was Austin Theory. So it could have been Austin Theory who attacked Bron. Because if they're doing this storyline where Austin Theory is going to align with Seth Rollins to maybe take back the Vision or destroy it from within, this would make sense. And on to the other reason why I said they have a chance to make two mega superstars. Number one is Bron Breakker, and I think he's being positioned to be one of the, if not the next big guy in WWE. But we also have a man who came out and attacked the Vision in LA Knight. His music hits, they wait for him, he comes from behind, and if I remember correctly, he hits Logan Paul with a steel chair and Austin Theory with a steel chair before skedaddling out of the arena. And I genuinely think that if they can make this triangle of like Adam Pearce, or I'll say Diamond, Adam Pearce, The Vision, LA Knight, and Seth Rollins work, if they can really make this work, LA Knight and Bron Breakker should come out on top looking like the top guys. They may not be Mania main event worthy yet, but this should position them for, next year's WrestleMania. Definitely. Like, if they're not, if either one of them aren't main eventing next year's WrestleMania, there's a big issue. Next, we get the rubber match between Javon Evans and El Grande Americano. Which version? It's the taller one, the taller guy. And he brings out his little Americano lackeys. This is, like I said, the rubber match because Javon Evans, last time they had a match, he got injured. I think they said, he maybe had a concussion. I can't remember right now. But this was an alright match. We get a bunch of Americano, or the Americano lackeys helping El Grande Americano out. The biggest part about this entire match, don't get me wrong, I think these two are great, and I really enjoy this, mini feud that they're having between Javon Evans and El Grande Americano. But we can see where it's leading because of what happened in the ending. Because near the ending, while the Americano lackeys, what were the Bravo brothers or whatever, they were, of course, interfering. One hands the metal plate to El Grande Americano so he can put it in his mask. As this happens, El Grande Americano, the original, comes out and he distracts everybody. The ref catches El Grande Americano, not the original, in the ring, says he's like, what are you doing with this? What are you doing with this? He steps in, and then Javon Evans hits him with a running knee, and then hits him with, what is his name? What is the move called? I can't remember it, but he hits him with the cutter. 1, 2, 3, Javon Evans wins. I really like this because it makes Javon Evans look great. It also makes El Grande Americano, not the original, look, good without looking completely and utterly dumb. He's just more focused on the original El Grande Americano. And I'm pretty sure we're getting El Grande Americano versus El Grande Americano at WrestleMania. which I'm hyped for. After a commercial break, we come back and AJ Styles' music hit, his Titantron shows, the Phenomenal One is back. But instead, it's actually just Gunther. And the way they're building Gunther, they are making him such a dominant heel that somebody eventually is going to have to rise up to be able to beat this guy. Because apparently no legend can. Nobody who's retiring can even come close. He comes out, does his usual, spiel of like, I took out AJ Styles, I'll take out anybody else. And the one person comes out that I never thought would have came out, and it's Dragon Lee. But it makes sense. It makes sense in this context because Dragon Lee and AJ Styles were just the tag team champions not too long ago. So he comes out, starts putting the beating on Gunther, but eventually Gunther's able to take over when Dragon Lee goes to run and hit him when he's behind the barricade where the ring bell is. Gunther picks up the ring bell, hits him across the face with it. This is where Gunther starts taking over. He puts him in a sleeper hold. They get separated by security. Gunther's able to get back into the ring, and Dragon Lee, as he's walking by, he grabs him by the mask, pulls him up, and the same way that Jon Moxley was choked out by Adam Page with the chain and everything is basically what Gunther did to Dragon Lee, except it was a sleeper hold. I am actually excited for this feud, and I know Dragon Lee's not the biggest star in the world, but I think if they're going to put him in the ring with Gunther, WWE can see him being that big of a guy. So, yeah, I'm all in for Gunther Dragon Lee. If they can make it look as good as they did in that short, brief period, a match, I'm all in. We then go to the backstage area where it's Paul Heyman and Adam Pearce, and Paul Heyman wants to have Bron Breakker versus LA Knight tonight in Philadelphia. And Pearce is like, well, that can't happen because I've already sent LA Knight home. I suggest you do the same with Bron Breakker. And you really shouldn't be worried about that right now because Bronson Reed does have a match against Penta tonight. You should be more worried about that. This, like I said, this Vision storyline with Pierce, the Vision, LA Knight, and Seth Rollins, I'm loving the direction. I just hope we do eventually get the big payoff. Whatever that big payoff may be, I hope it's big, and I hope it's just the right choice. I hope it's to create a whole bunch of stars in Bron Breakker, LA Knight, Bronson Reed, and Austin Theory. If they after all this, those four guys can be main event guys, that would be awesome. And also we see Bron Breakker basically all mad, running away from Paul Heyman. He doesn't want to hear it. He just basically leaves. Next is supposed to be a tag team match, and I don't know who was supposed to be his tag team partner, but you have Eric and Ivar in the ring waiting for their opponents. Obafemi comes out and just demolishes the Viking Raiders. They don't, that the bell never rings, a match never happens. He just comes out, beats him up, and looks dominant. I'm not too much a fan of that because I would have preferred a match, but I'm sure they're holding off for Mania. Either that or Elimination Chamber at the earliest. Then we got a promo from Finn Balor, and I really liked it because one thing that's been a big complaint just across the entire internet wrestling community is that all this respect talk. I respect you, and I respect you, and I want to fight you, but just because I respect you, I'm not going to go too hard on you, or whatever. Finn Balor's done with respect, basically because of what happened between him and CM Punk, and now this, kinda, maybe, fallout with the Judgment Day, because Finn Balor's sights is purely on the World Heavyweight Championship. And I don't know where this is all going to line up because of something else that happens at the end of the show. The Bella Twins come out to the ring for 5 minutes and say they are back because they want the Women's Tag Team Championships. So my guess is Elimination Chamber, probably not. WrestleMania, the Bella Twins versus Rio, probably. And I don't want to see it, but I'm sure there's a lot of people that do. Alpha Academy is in the backstage area, and they're alongside comedian Bert Kreischer. Like, yay, cool. And they're like, yeah, I can't wait for next week for our tag team match against Usos for the World Tag Team Championships. I'm excited for it because if we get the same Otis and Tozawa that we saw when they won the #1 contendership match, I'm all in for a world title run with them, with Alpha Academy. But then Maxine Dupree comes in. She looks a bit disheveled, and she's like, I don't care what happens. She's basically like, I want to get Natty, I want to break her ankle, I want to get Becky, I want to break her ankle. She just wants to go around breaking ankles at this point. This is not a happy Maxine Dupree. And we eventually get to Penta versus Bronson Reed. And honestly, this match was pretty slow, pretty plotting, and it was kind of boring if I'm being a little honest here. But I can understand why, because of the finish that they had planned. So we do wind up getting a ref bump, and if I remember right, it's because Penta went to go hit the ref to hit Austin Theory, I think. I can't remember right now, but because of that, LA Knight, who is supposed to not be in the arena, shows up out of nowhere with a steel chair, or not with a steel chair, because Bronson Reed was going to use the steel chair on Penta. He winds up flipping Bronson Reed around. Bronson drops the chair because he's like, whoa, and he hits him with the BFT right on the steel chair, and it looks immaculate. If you don't believe me, go look it up. It looks absolutely wonderful. And then he dips out. LA Knight dips out. Logan Paul and Austin Theory, they go chasing after him over the barricade, through the crowd and everything. And Penta wins via countout. It wouldn't surprise me if next week we get like Penta and LA Knight versus Bronson Reed, Austin Theory, or Logan Paul, whichever one of the three you want to put in there. Penta has a long history with Division 2 because he's had to deal with them in the past. So I think this is all culminating into like some bigger, we're not close to War Games, but kind of War Games-ish stuff, because you have the entire faction of the Vision. You have LA Knight, you have Penta, you have, I guess technically Seth Rollins as well, if he's no longer aligned with the Vision, but we don't know yet. We just don't know yet. After another commercial break, we get Dirty Dominic Mysterio finally making his triumphant return, and he's only here to bring out the Women's 2026 Royal Rumble winner in Liv Morgan. And Liv Morgan says she's the greatest Royal Rumble winner of all time and the greatest Royal Rumble of all time. I mean, the Royal Rumble was good, Liv. Don't get me wrong. But the greatest, I'm not too sure about that one. She doesn't really say much here, but she does say that we're going to bring out Raquel because we're ready for Raquel to become the Women's World Champion. And we get a scene where basically it was like, Liv was like, we're not selfish, right? You understand I had to throw you out of the Rumble because it doesn't matter who in the Judgment Day won. Just somebody had to win. And in order for me to win, you had to be dumped out, Raquel. Sorry about that. And Raquel's like, yeah, no problem. Because tonight, I'm going to become the Women's World Champion. So I'm going to need you to just stay in the back. And the whole crowd went, ooh. And then right after this, we roll into the Women's World Title match. Stephanie Vaquer versus Raquel Rodriguez in a Philly street fight match. To me, this was just your kind of like, and it sounds weird to say, but basic run-of-the-mill WWE hardcore match. You know, they had the dumpster, they had the kendo stick. There was 3 tables because Stephanie Vaquer gets powerbombed through one table. Roxanne Perez comes out at one point to help. She gets tossed into a table. And then at the very end, or near the very end, Raquel gets jumped on through a table. And the only reason that's even able to happen is because Liv Morgan didn't listen and stay in the back. She comes out, grabs the world title, hands it to Raquel to hopefully help her. But it winds up distracting her more than anything. She gets thrown into the post. Then, everything happens. She gets put through the table by Stephanie. And then they move the table. She does like a Phoenix splash on her. 1, 2, 3. Stephanie Vaquer is still our Women's World Champion, which honestly shocked me because the whole match, the entire match, she is selling that same ankle that's been hurt. So I don't know if she's still injured. Hopefully not. Hopefully, if you are, get better, Stephanie, because nobody wants to see you hurt. But I honestly thought Raquel was going to win, and we were going to see like the real big crumblings of Judgment Day dissolving. And finally, to end off the night, we have Roman Reigns come out, and he's basically talking to the crowd saying like, do I go after Drew McIntyre? Do I go after CM Punk? Who will I go after? Even then the crowd is responding, he goes, you guys want me to fight Drew McIntyre? The whole crowd's like, no, we do not want to see you fight Drew McIntyre at all whatsoever. Don't need it. And he's like, well, you want to see me fight CM Punk? And everyone's like, yeah, CM Punk. And then Punk comes back, and they're going back and forth. I mean, this was a war of words between these two. Punk brings up how Roman's a part-timer, that Punk's been going to all these countries, 10 different countries in like 2 weeks or whatever it was, while Roman just sits on the sidelines and waits for his big opportunity so he can come in and be the big bad guy and all that. And then Roman fires back, was like, yeah, I would be doing the same thing too if I took a 10-year vacation. Which, I mean, is he wrong? He's kind of not wrong. Roman also brings up that there wouldn't even be a place to come back to for Punk if it was not for Roman and his family. The Bloodline storyline, according to Roman, not only saved WWE, but put it to where it is right now. The pinnacle that it's at is because of him and his family. Roman then goes on to say, I don't want to fight you because you're on the best show. I don't want to fight you because of that championship. I want to fight you because I hate you. And so it's official. We will have, for the World Heavyweight Championship, CM Punk versus Roman Reigns. And the thing is if they can pull this off correctly, then I'm all in for it. But if this is all we get until Mania, I don't care. I don't care how good this promo was. To me, even though Roman won the Rumble and we have this promo, it doesn't justify putting him in the main event of WrestleMania again. I want to see something different. We had him last year. Of course, it was the triple threat match and they both got turned on, but it's just like, come on, man. I hope Roman's here. Like, he's here every single week until Mania. I want to see him every single week. Put him in matches. Just put him in random matches against people. Give him a promo segment here and there, too. But I don't want to see him win the Rumble. Then we get this promo. Then a month later, we get a promo. Then a month later, we get a promo. And then it's like, okay, now it's Mania. Good, you're here, Roman. Good, you're going to have the match? Okay, cool, bye. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. Please, WWE, do not give us that. For me, this was like a decently booked show. I love the way that it opened. I think the promo at the end was good. And all the stuff they sprinkled in, I'd say for the most part, was good. It was good. It wasn't bad. I don't think anything was inherently bad this episode that I can think of. So I'm going to give it just a straight 3 out of 5. I think it's kind of just average, middle of the road Raw. Anyways, that is my review of the February 2nd, 2026 Raw. Let me know down in the comments below, what did you like? What did you dislike? Do you think that Bron Breakker and LA Knight can be megastars to hold up the company? Or are they not the right guys? While you're down there, if you made it this far into the video and you enjoyed, you might as well just like the video, because that helps out a lot. Subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can see every single time this channel uploads. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you again next time.